Hi, my name is James, and this is part 2 of the Cardano Starter Kit about Cardano Starter Kits. In part 1, I shared some of the high-level motivation for why we're building these things in the first place. And in this video, I'd like to talk a little bit about the details, okay, and why you might want to build a Cardano Starter Kit yourself. Now, at a high level, the reason we want to create Cardano Starter Kits is, one, because people learn best through experience. All right, in order to really wrap our minds around everything we're going to be able to do, right? And it's hard to even predict all of this, right? We all have ideas for what we're going to be able to do with Cardano, but there's so many surprises to come as we really start using these things in the real world, that we're going to, the only way to understand the import of this is going to be to experience it, right? And then two, we want to create starter kits because it's hard to solve big problems alone. We want to create spaces for people to come together, share their expertise, but also share their insights as they learn about these tools over time, and contribute to something much bigger than any of us could accomplish on our own. So let's go a little deeper into this. First of all, starter kits are meant to go beyond just documentation and tutorials. They will include both, all right? And if you've seen any of the previous starter kits, you know that I dip into tutorial mode often enough, right? This is me getting started building these things, all right? But we want to go beyond that. Right? It's one thing to read documentation, right? And there's documentation for a lot of tools out there, but it's hard to read it, right? Reading documentation is a really valuable skill. Some people have a special gift for being able to do it. But you know what? One of the things that helps somebody get better at reading documentation is they understand which parts of it matter, right? And they have an active web of understanding inside their brain so that when they read docs, they can incorporate that new knowledge in really efficient ways. Let's help other people do that. Let's provide context for why the documentation matters. Context for what the documentation is talking about, right? Schema so that when people work through a tutorial, they can incorporate the new tools and the new ideas they're seeing in a way that's going to allow them to actually apply these things rather than only sitting on the sidelines and watching. Another reason to build a Cardano Starter Kit is that maybe you have some experiences. You've played around with some of the new tooling that exists, and you've seen what can go wrong. One of the best things we can do as a developer community is share that insight with others. Hey, I wasted 8 hours trying to figure out this problem because this thing I built was breaking. You can save other people those 8 hours by saying, look, here's what I experienced, here's what happened, provide that context for them, and then show them, here's how I solved that problem, right? Another reason to build a Cardano Starter Kit is maybe you have questions, right? You're not exactly sure what a certain tool is going to be able to do, or you built some utility and now you want to figure out how it can best be used or how it's useful to others, right? We can answer bigger questions by collaborating with each other, comparing notes on what we've done, and talking about both the applications and the connections between things. And often in these conversations, we're going to meet up with some unexpected surprises, all right? I believe that the Cardano Starter Kit structure is going to provide this, right? Space to collaborate, space for surprises, and as much opportunity as possible for people to really understand how their new knowledge of new tools connects to everything they know already. So, let's put it in complete sentences, okay? Why build a Cardano Starter Kit? One reason might be that you have insight to share about how a tool works. Once again, you've seen what can go wrong. You understand how that tool connects to others, or what's necessary to be able to really use it, right? Because you've been tinkering, you now have something to share. Similar to this tinkering piece, maybe you've built something and want to share it. And this might be a complete dApp, right? Or it might be just some little piece of tooling that could help other people better accomplish their goals. Related to those, maybe you want to build a starter kit because you have ideas to how to really help people make sense of, find the context, build their schema around, and ultimately inspire people to then dive deeper into tutorials about Plutus or metadata or Marlowe or tokens or Atala Prism. Should I keep going? Okay. All of these tools, they're all going to be accompanied by a wealth of education materials. And everybody learns differently. But again, I'll reiterate, I think everybody learns best by doing, right? Whatever that means for somebody in their context. So you can make a starter kit where you say, all right, let me show you just a little bit about what Plutus does. Let's see it in action. And if that captures anybody's imagination, if that inspires people, you can then point people towards deeper tutorials, right? Once again, nobody can do all of this alone. We've got huge problems to solve, all right? Starter kits are exactly what it says in their name, a starting point, a launch pad, a place to get inspired and then to go off and learn more. And when newcomers come to the blockchain space, when newcomers arrive at the Cardano ecosystem, we want to be able to say, look at this nifty tool, look at what it does, go play with it, and then when you're ready to learn more, go here. So a specific example, Gimbalabs is one of 3 education-centered projects that were funded in Fund 2 of Project Catalyst. The other 2, Damien's Haskell, Plutus, Marlowe education, and Maria and Shweta's, and is it Keith? And Keith's Lovelace Academy. Both of these are places where people are going to go to dive deep into what the tools can do. With starter kits, we intend to launch people in that direction, right? I want to show people what Plutus and Marlowe and Haskell can do, and then hand them off to HPM Education and to Lovelace Academy so people can go much deeper. We are building a whole web ecosystem here, and some of these educational materials will help one set of people, others will help another. And let's make sure we're just spreading knowledge around in every direction. If you have a tutorial or a library of support materials that you'd like to share, we would love to point people in that direction and get them started to understand what they're doing there. Finally, you have questions about the utility of a tool. This is another reason to build a kit. Maybe it's a tool that you built, or maybe it's a tool that somebody else built. And if you find yourself wondering, what's this thing good for? Let's try to make a starter kit about it, okay? Let's try to show the utility of the tool so that people can really use it for what it's good for, all right? All of this fits together in this piece of look. We want people to learn as much as possible. We want to inspire people to really go on their journey of learning because there's so much to learn right now. And starter kits are meant to be that place where people can come and really kind of jumpstart where they're going. Now, I've had a few conversations with people. Is it okay if we use the term CSK to mean crypto starter kit? Absolutely. Okay. I'm focused on Cardano because I find that focus helps me get things done. If I was trying to figure out the entire crypto space right now, I would just be overwhelmed all the time. So, I happen to be focused on Cardano here, but that doesn't mean everything else is irrelevant. So if you want to make a starter kit that's more general, or if you want to make a starter kit about another blockchain, let's do it. All right. Let's get those tools out there. I'm going to be focused on Cardano, like I said, for the really practical reason that I believe in focusing on something, right? And that's what I'm choosing to focus on. But if you have a different place to start, let's start there. Let's launch people from that point, okay? Now, in summary, let's just think about how these pieces fit together. In Project Catalyst Fund 3, which is happening right now, there's 2 challenges. Each one has half of the available funds allocated to it. One of them is the dApp Creation Challenge. One of them is the Developer Ecosystem Challenge. And you can see the questions right here. Now, it strikes me that both of these challenges feed each other. Anybody who builds a successful dApp will have created some tooling that might be helpful to other projects. And anybody who creates tools for developers to build dApps is going to be having ideas about how to apply those tools. There's a lot of give and take here, and a lot of insights, a lot of ideas. I keep using the word tools because that's how I see Cardano, as a problem-solving tool. Okay. There's going to be a lot of crosstalk between these things. I've really enjoyed reading through IdeaScale with this lens. Ooh, I like that dApp idea because it's going to apply to all these other things. Ooh, I love this developer ecosystem idea because I can imagine the directions it's going to launch people. If this is the conversation you'd like to have, let's talk. Let's get together. I don't want to rush anybody into making Cardano starter kits. First, I want you to participate in the conversation. Join us on Discord. Comments of this video or wherever is the best place for you to start participating. I would love to hear your ideas about how to change starter kits to make them more effective. I'd love to hear your ideas about what starter kits we need to build. And if you want to contribute, I would love to support you to do that. So in the next 2 videos, I'm going to drill down even further into some of kind of the immediate details about how to build a starter kit yourself.